Hi there, it's Carol with Carol B Crafts. Today we'll be doing project number 5 in my Picture Perfect Birthday online card class. The Picture Perfect Birthday card class kit will be available through April 30th, 2018. If you'd like the details on how you can get the class kit free, check out my website www.carolbcrafts.com. Let's look at the kit and see how to make this beautiful little balloon card. Now in the kit everything is pre-cut and measured for you, and this little balloon cutout here is not a die, but I will show you how to make the little balloon later on as we get to making our card. So in your card kit you'll have the Whisper White, thick Whisper White card base. We have some ribbon. Actually I have 2 pieces somewhere. Okay, I have my 4-inch piece now. So, and then I have the solid black twine, and so I have a 7-inch piece of the Berry Burst metallic edge ribbon, a 4-inch piece of the same ribbon, then I have a 4 and a 5-inch piece of the basic black twine. So we'll go ahead and just fold our card base away from us. Like that. And this is going to be a portrait style card. And then we'll go ahead and put our balloons on our black. Now this was a 6x6 piece, and I'll show you how I got it because I wanted it cut specifically just like that. So I'll tell you how I cut it so I had it just the way I wanted it. Now this piece is actually 3 5/16 by 5 3/16, which is a little different, but that's the way it is. Okay, so this is that piece, and this is this piece, and this is this piece. So this was what it looked like before I cut it. I cut off of this side. I cut okay, I must have cut this side first. So this side I cut 1 5/16, just less, a little more than 1 1/4. So 1 5/16 inches off of there. Then on this side I cut enough to make it, and I hope I'm not confusing you, enough to make it 3 15/16, just 1/16 shy of 4 inches. Okay, and then I cut off the top enough to make it 5 3/16 inches. So I don't know that it's that important that you have it just like that. I just thought it was pretty to have these balloons matching with that balloon. That's why I cut it that way. But really you could cut it anyway if you're not that particular. So we'll go ahead and put this on our basic black, which is 4 by 5 1/4. So we'll get our snail. And we have a 1/16 edge all around, a very thin edge all around. And then before we put it on the Bermuda Bay, which is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, before we put it on that, we're going to put the 7-inch piece of ribbon around here. I'm not sure why I have 7 inches. It's a pretty big piece of ribbon. 8 inches. I think I was thinking I needed it for there. So I could probably get by with 6 inches. Okay, so I'm just going to cut that down to 6 inches because 8 inches is just too long. So I'll be sure to put the right measurements on my website for you. Alright, and then this piece is going to be, the ribbon is going to go 1 1/4 inches from the bottom. So we'll turn it over on the back and mark 1 1/4 inches. And that lets us know where we need to put our snail for our ribbon. We're just going to put about 1 inch of snail above that line. And that gives us something to put our ribbon into to hold it in place. So now that's ready to go on our piece of Bermuda Bay. And we have about 1/16 of an inch going around that. Now we can put this on our card, but we do need to do some stamping, so we'll set this aside. I have 2 stitched circles from the Stitch Circle shape, those Stitch Shapes framelits, and I'm using the second largest die in the circle in the Stitch Shaped Framelits dies, and I always give you 2 in case you need a little extra. And we'll go ahead and get our photopolymer, and I think I'm going to use my Stampin' just because this is a smaller piece of cardstock, so I'm going to put some adhesive on the back, and I'm going to use the basic black archival ink. And then the stamp that I'm going to use is from our Picture Perfect birthday, and I'm going to use Happiest of Birthdays to You. And then on the inside you could put Celebrate the Good Stuff, Treat Yourself, Cue the Confetti. You can choose what you want to put on the inside. So I'm going to go ahead and ink up my stamp, the Happiest Birthday to You. Happiest of Birthdays to You, which is kind of cool. And then I'm going to put it over my circle so that I can perfectly place it. Now, if you don't have a Stampin', since these are the clear stamps that you can see through the photopolymer, you could probably get it good enough just by looking through. Okay, I didn't quite, just didn't quite make it, so I'm going to do it again. That's why I give you 2. You hold that in place. Try that again. And that looks good right there. Get some good ink on it this time. Go straight down. I'm going to push on that of just to make sure this time it does take. And it did. Okay, so once we get our card stamped and you get your inside stamped with what you want, we're ready to put it on the balloon. We want this to dry a little bit though before we put it on the balloon, because this ink doesn't, if I try to put it on there, it may smear. So we're just going to let that dry. So while that's drying, we can go ahead and put this on our card base. And we have 1/8 of an inch, 1/16 of an inch. So normally if this were dry, I'd go ahead and put it on my balloon, but because it's not dry, I'm not going to. But I'm going to go ahead and find my 4-inch piece of the black twine. That's the smaller one. I'm going to get my glue dots. So you'll need your glue dots from your kit. And I'm going to put on the back 2 glue dots, one on this side, one on that side. And if you've taken a class from me before, this might look familiar if you've done this with the twine. So I'm going to put the end of this twine in that glue dot, wrap this around twice, and then put it in that glue dot. Okay, so this part is, I'm going to insert this here because I forgot to do this when I did the original video. So after you have your 2 glue dots there and you've done the twine around twice, you're going to put a glue dot in between these 2, right there. And then you're going to take the 5-inch and you're going to put it in that glue dot. And then you're just going to bring it around to the side. I guess this is the side I had it at, but I guess it doesn't matter, either side. And then you're going to put that on your card. So sorry about the mess up. Okay, now to put this on the card, I'm going to use mini dimensionals. Well, is it mini or regular? It's actually regular dimensionals. So you'll get your regular dimensionals that you have from your kit, and it looks like I'm supposed to use 8. So I'm just going to kind of place them where I think they should go. That looks good enough. I don't want to put any over that. Alright, so this is going to go, we bring in our sample. This is going to go here in the corner. Looks like about even distances from the top, and about 1/4 of an inch from the edge of the Bermuda Bay, and at an angle. Got to take the backing off. They always stick so much better when you take the backing off. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put that there. And I probably should have done this first. But since I didn't, I'm just going to stick it down in there and see if I can get it stuck underneath something. Nope, I'll have to put a glue dot on it. So let me get a glue dot, stick it in a glue dot. I should have put this on the back of the balloon before I put it on the card, but I didn't. But as you can see, it's there. It's there. It's going to stay. So now I do want this underneath the ribbon. Now you want to shape it so that it looks kind of natural. It doesn't have to look exactly like that. Like this looks pretty natural, like this. So we're going to take a glue dot and we're going to roll it up. And You can do that with your finger, I guess is the best way to do it. Roll it up like a little, I guess, burrito. And you're going to put it underneath this end here that's kind of fraying. And you're going to put that in the corner with the sticky side down. Like that. And the ends of the twine will fray and cover up the glue dot. Okay, so I guess this is probably the hardest part of the card here. So decide where you want your ribbon, your twine, and then you're going to take your multi-purpose glue. Now don't let this scare you. You're going to put a piece under a little dot, a tiny little dot, if you can see that, and you're going to put your twine in there. Now where it curves here, I'm going to put another one. It kind of works better if you hold your straight up and down. Okay, so you can see I have another little dot there. I'm going to put it in there. And then here where it curves, I'm going to put another little dot. And then set it over on top of it. Okay, and we're just going to let that dry. Now this is probably dry enough now that I can touch it. We're going to put that on our balloon, and we want it kind of like that. So I'll put my glue away and get out my snail again. Now if the glue if doing that kind of bothers you, then you could probably just leave it alone and just let it find its own way. Okay, so I'm going to turn it that way. Okay, it's a little off, but that's okay. Oh, oh good, I can. Let me put some more snail on it though, freshen the snail. Good, I could pull it off. Make it a little bit more perfect. There. That's better. Sometimes you can do it, sometimes you can't. Alright, and then the last thing we need to do is our little bow here. So we're going to put that underneath. And let's see. I'm going to put it underneath, and then this wraps around. So you're going to make an X basically like that with your ribbon, and push this one underneath. And pull it. Then you're going to take this and flip it around to the other side. And I hope that wasn't confusing. So you basically did that and then you flipped it around. And then once you get it where you want it, you're just going to take your scissors. I'm going to cut an angle this way and an angle this way. So hopefully you figured that when I flipped it around, I twisted it from the bottom. So this knot had been on the bottom, but I took this, put it underneath, pulled it, and flipped it over so that this was on top now, because it's a prettier knot. So all right, well, we are done with our card, and hopefully you'll stick around for project number 6 in my Picture Perfect Birthday online card class. Thanks for watching. Oh, I was going to show you how I did the balloon. I don't want to cheat you out of that. Okay, so I have a piece of the Berry Burst. It's 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. And then I'm going to take my scissors, and in the middle I'm going to form, cut in 1/4 inch. I'm going to form the little stem. So you can see it's kind of cut in that angle, about 1/4 inch, and then I'm going to bend it back like this. And it doesn't matter about the bend, because the bend is going to be covered up. So, and then we're going to get from our layering circles dies the second largest die, which would be this one. And we're going to put this die on top of our card, and we want to make sure that the cutting edge is not touching the fold. So we want that where the fold is on the inside of that cutting edge and not on top of it. And then if you have the metallic platform, you can use that. If not, you can just use washi tape or regular tape. You just have to put it on the outside of the rim and not on the inside. So you can see my little tab there, and there's nothing there for cutting. So I'm going to run this through my Big Shot. I'm using the magnetic plate, an acrylic plate. I'm putting this down, then I'm putting another acrylic plate on top of that. I'm just going to run this through the Big Shot. I'm going to crank it through just like that. So I cranked it through the Big Shot, and now we'll see the magic. Pull it out, pull that down, and you have your balloon. And you can do that with any size circle that you have with your circle framelit dies. Alright, well, now we are finished. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you for project number 5. Bye now. Or 6. Project number 6. Bye now.